Welcome to the course of Primavera Physics, Basic to Advanced User. Primavera Physics is a prominent planning software which is widely used across the globe in industries ranging from construction, manufacturing, shipping, oil and gas, defense, and many more. This planning tool will help in initial planning development of a project monitoring, tracking the program, progress updating, and reporting across various streams of the project communications. The course aims to disseminate practical applications of planning software, such as initial program plan development, resource and cost assigning to the program plan, program project monitoring, and project communications across the stakeholders involved in this development of project. The stakeholders could be of clients, contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, and vendors. And this Primavera Basics is developed using one of the recent version of the program. The course aims to disseminate the information of introduction, getting started with the basics like setting up the format and creating a EPS. EPS is nothing but Enterprise Project Structure in the introduction section 1. Coming to the section 2, we'll start with program development by creating a work breakdown structure. Under the work breakdown structure, we'll create an activities and show you about the milestones and assigning durations. Later, we'll go with the grouping, sorting, a filter on layout formats of the P6. And we'll also discuss about assigning a calendar for the activities. In a section 3, once we have developed the program in section 2, the next step is to assign resources by creating a resource pool in a resource sheet of the Primavera Basics program. Once resources are created, there are 3 types of resources. One is material, labor, and non-labor resources. And we'll discuss about how to create these resources with all the units, then assign these resources into the program which is created in the section 2. Once the resources are assigned to the program, how to do resource leveling. Resource leveling is a resource optimization which will allocate the resource very optimized way in a smooth manner so that the resource over allocation will be cleared off. And the next step is inputting the cost and expenses into the program activities. Once resources and expenses costs are assigned, we have to go for monitoring, periodical monitoring, updating, and reporting steps. By creating a baseline and assigning this baseline to the project, and how to assign baseline to a project, multiple baselines, we'll discuss more details in this aspect also. Once baseline is created, the progress updating formats, what are the things to consider in program updating and tracking also. Once we have all familiar with all this progress updating and tracking, we have to think about communicating the program periodically with all the stakeholders. Communicating in the sense saving the files, exporting the files, sending to the files, and importing back, and generating various useful reports for a meeting or communications or records. This helps you in totality of project management. The section 1 Introduction to Monitoring and Updating deals with all the latest applications and methodology in understanding the Primavera Physics course. What are the training takeaways? What you could expect from this course? You will be exposed to semi-advanced level of applications and some single project training, which is tailor-made to simplify the explanation process. We are considering a simple project to build upon by creating a program and developing it, and assigning resources and cost to it, monitoring the created program and updating periodically, and communicating the program to stakeholders across the project. With the help of single sample project, we'll be dealing with all these aspects to make sure that you learn all the tools and techniques applicable practically in project management. So this will expose you to the semi-advanced level of applications. The only thing you need to do is practice. Practice makes a man perfect. You continue to practice with different project. You can create your own project. To keep it in totality, to keep it in a very simplistic manner, we have considered a sample single project only, which is to cover all these aspects in 2.5 hours. Hopefully, you will be using all this application to develop a good project and become a good project manager. I wish you a good luck in continued learning. We'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Let's go to the P6 icon. This is P6 professional icon. Double click on it. A login credential window will appear. Here you could notice the version type. The version we are dealing with is 16.2. Please enter your login credentials like password. Before that, make sure you have selected a right database file. The database which you have assigned during the installation of software must be selected. Then enter your login credentials. The password is admin. Click OK. The appropriate industry for your organization has not been selected in admin preferences. We can do it later. Click OK. So here I would like to change the startup appearance. I want to see the global project, create new project, and open recent project. To change the startup appearance window, go to Edit, click on User Preferences, go to Application. You can notice the startup window. Application startup window, you would like to see the project activities. Click on the activities. Show the welcome dialog on the startup. Show name and descriptions in group and sorting. And close it. Exit the file. So exit the application. Click S. And then re-click on P6 icon. Double click on it. Enter your login credential, password, admin. Click OK. It's loading up so you can see the startup window. This is welcome dialog box. You can create a new project from here. You can open existing project. You can also open a last project. We can open global data. So let's open a global data. Click OK again. The global data consists of all the pre-templates like belonging to different organizations. So you can notice that this is the calendar view. It can be changed. Go to view, show on top, You can change it to just a table format. You cannot see the Gantt chart area, or else you can do it directly here. Click on the Gantt chart view. You can see here changes, chart view. We can see the changes, projects in chart view. So let's go back to the Gantt chart view. And also you can sort it and group it under different sections. Like currently it is under EPS breakdown section. You can change it to, if you have assigned a project manager different projects, you click on the project manager. You can see the project manager box comes handling all these projects. So similarly you can change or customize the view in group and sorting, like location, for example, like which projects are in the North America, which projects are in this Latin America. There is one more thing. In show on bottom, we may not be interested to look into no bottom layout, so click on it, so the bottom layout will disappear. So if you want to see the bottom layout details, click on the details. You can see the project details such as general, project ID, status, checkout status, check.by, who is the responsible manager, project name, if any, project website, data, date checkout, checked out, and project leveling priority. We'll take one example project such as Juniper Nursing Home or Janit Continuity Program. We'll go for a construction project. Okay, you can see the project ID, the priority level. Notebook consists of the descriptions and executive feedback. You can add the descriptions here. Click on it, add the description, cancel. Budget log, what is the budget, original budget, current budget, proposed budget, what is the spending plan. So there is no spending plan details here. The budget summary, variance, there is no variance in this project. We can also see the scheduled dates like project plan start date, data date, actual start date, must finish by, finish, actual finish, anticipated start, anticipated finish, and the funding sources and the shares you can add here. Like if you're having a joint venture, you can add the funding sources, the codes, project code. We'll go into the codes in activity codes and all the details. What are the default functions like duration type, percent complete, physical or units or duration. Activity types, it's a task dependent usually. You can assign a calendar for the project. These are the set of calendars you can assign to the project. Resources, standard rate, external rate, price per unit, and settings. When was the last summarized data? Fiscal year of the day begins from January 1st. Project baseline for earned value calculation is project baseline. Define critical activities. Total float is less than or equal to 0 hour or longest path. We consider total flow less than or equal to 0. Calculations, project calculations. Default price per unit, activity percent, complete based on activity steps. When updating actual units, we have two options. One is add actual to remaining or subtract from at completion. We prefer to keep it as subtract actual from at completion. Update units when cost changes on resource assignment. Some of the consultants' feedback is recorded here. If you don't want to see this bottom layout, you can go to the view, show on bottom, click on no bottom layout. So the bottom layout will disappear. And along with this, you must be aware about this layout and the window of the EPS. Please note that this section is called menu bar. This is a layout consisting of grouping, sorting, timescale, and this is a bottom layout. This is the view. How do you like to view the chart or uh, table format? This is a print layout, print toolbar. This is enterprise toolbar. This section is project toolbar. And coming to this is an editing toolbar. You can add, delete, cut, copy, paste. And this one is assigning toolbar. You can assign resources, roles of the resources, activity codes, predecessors, successors. This is a move toolbar. You can move up, down, right, left. You must be aware of these functions. If you don't want some of the toolbars, you could go to the view section in the menu bar, choose toolbars. You can deselect it. Like if you don't want to see the bottom layout, deselect it. If you don't want to, I'll show you what happens if you deselect it. If you have deselected this, the bottom layout will disappear. You want status bar? I forgot to mention the status bar. The status bar is this section where what is the data date of the project, baseline, who is the user, what is the database. Yeah, this is the status bar. This is how you can change your toolbar for the physics applications. So I select the bottom layout. I want the bottom layout. Next, we will be moving to the developing a new sample project. We will discuss the sample project from the initial stage. Thank you. Hi, let's come back to the session of creating a new EPS and project. This is the Open Global Data Project layout. This is sorted according to the location. Let's change this according to the EPS. EPS means Enterprise Project Structure. In menu bar, click on View, go to Group and Sort by. It's currently in the location format. Go to Group and Sort by. Click on EPS. The layout changes into EPS. Before creating a project, we must create a new EPS. Let's go to the creating of new EPS, that is Enterprise Project Structure. Go to Enterprise, click on EPS Enterprise Project Structure. As you could see, all these projects or EPS structure has been created here, like product development having another set of this pyramid icon represents enterprise. So you could create a different EPS structure. For every project to be created, we must insert that project into the respective EPS. Now our industry is engineering and constructions, so I shall be adding a new enterprise project structure, and this project is belonging to engineering thing. So my project will be build construction. So I shall be naming it as like civil. Let's go to the name, EPS name. The project EPS name will be building construction. Okay, now this I shall be indenting inside engineering and construction. To indent it, we just have to click on this. To shift left, click here, and we can move the EPS into different sections like up, down, like I moved it here and insert it. Okay, so the EPS has been created for engineering and construction. Under this we have a civil building construction. So I'll be adding a new EPS under this, like same thing like civil, but it's a baseline. Same thing, baseline. Under the same EPS, add one more, civil PM project monitoring. I'll change the name into project monitoring. I'll add it again. So for us, these two are more than enough. This is one I just added to delete. So to show how to delete this, just go here and click delete. This section is for to add, this is for to delete, this is for to you can cut this or copy this or insert anywhere under the structure. So EPS has been created. The ID is civil, name is building construction, enterprise is the responsible manager. Then close it. Before we start any project, we must make sure that user preferences and admin preferences settings are cross-verified and checked. So we go to the edit, click on user preferences. We'll be checking about the time units like hours and decimals. Are we inserting any decimals or not? So duration format and date format, like we want month, day, year, or day, month, year. Every country has different set of formatting structure. So we just follow this day, month, year for us as of now. The time format. Some of the complex projects are the people who intend to go more detailed, they go for inserting the time. For this moment, for the sample project, I'll not be using the time. Then the currency. So you can use different currency if you're staying in different your project requirement or country location requirement. You can use appropriate currency. Application we discussed in first section. You can insert a password, resource analysis, calculations. So once user preferences are done, click close. Then I shall be checking on admin preferences, like what is the general, like code separator, start of the day or start day of the week, activity duration, how much is the default duration, data limits, ID length, characters, time period like hours per day, hours per week, hours per month, hours per year. The earned value calculation settings like computing performance percent complete by activity percent complete or etc performance index like 1 over cost performance index or cost performance into schedule performance index like any custom. So with respect to earned value, we'll be dealing this separately in a later session. Reports like what is the header label, options like by calendar or by financial period for summarize at store resource spread, rate types like standard, and you can uh, like select the rate type industry. So I'll be selecting engineering and construction as an appropriate the projects. Click close. We can start up the project, inserting a project. Let's go to our EPS, which we had created like this. Civil building construction, civil baseline, civil PM, civil project monitoring. So I'll go to the enterprise, click on enterprise structure. So I just bring these projects EPS structure outside of this engineering and construction because I want to monitor it independently. Bring this out, like shift left, again this one. The moment I make changes, you could notice that it is getting independent from engineering and construction. So now I'll just make this as an main EPS. I'll shift baseline is secondary. First we create a project in baseline, then once baseline is approved, then we move the same copy into the project monitoring to monitor the project progress for a period of time. So I'll just indent it under building and construction. Same here, I'll indent the PM project monitoring, then move this out because this is the first thing we are going to do. Then close it. It's been created. And the responsible manager, you must know this, like responsible manager, we have assigned ENC, double click on it. Now an enterprise project structure has been created. As you could notice, this is an horizontal splitter bar, vertical splitter bar is this one. Now after enterprise project structure has been created and we are ready to go ahead with starting a project, then click add here. The new project has been added. Select EPS. I have selected baseline. You can re-choose it, like if you want to choose. You can drag down and up to go into more clarity and details. Click here. Select. Has been selected. Click next. Project, new project ID. Civil. This is first project, so civil 01 project name, 2-story villa. So this is actually a civil engineering project, so I'll be naming. You create a specific project title, name and EPS structure suitable to your background and your organization or company. So this is the process we had. We click next. I'll be choosing the project start will be in the next week, like 4th May 2020 Monday. Click OK. Must finish by an year. Move to 2021. Click on it. On Tuesday 4th May 2021. Next. Rate type is a standard rate. Click next. Congratulations, your new project has been created. Click finish. That's it, the project has been created. Now you could copy the same project. Click on the right click on it, copy, paste under different EPS. Select options to include if you have all the reports, documents, funding source and all issues and thresholds. If you don't want some of them, I don't want the notebook details, I'll click it. You can cut here, repaste it, code here, click paste, sorry, that's copy, click paste. Then again you can choose whichever you need. If you don't need, deselect those things. The thing goes on. So now I'm focusing on creating a baseline of a project. So I'll be deleting the file under project monitoring. Once baseline is finalized, then I'll set this as a baseline and move to project monitoring stage. So at this moment I'll be just deleting this file. I click here, delete, then yes, I'm going to delete this. Okay, thank you. We have deleted, we have created a project. Now the project has been created. In the next session we'll be discussing about adding activities, durations, assigning calendar. We created this EPS, as you remember, this consisting of civil. The EPS name is building construction with civil baseline and civil project monitoring. We had gone through all the process of creating enterprise project structure and creating a project. Now let's move ahead with creating a project, like completely setting up a project program. So we select our project. Please do recall, before we go into the creation of the detailed project program, we must check all the details of this, like as we discussed in previous session. Most importantly, we must check the projected planned start date and data date and finish date, must finish date. So once you have checked all the aspects and settings of the Wbs project, like default, what is the default settings for new activities, duration type, fixed duration and units, percent complete type is duration percent complete, task dependent, activity type is task dependent, and this is the very critical setting you must check. Like if you have pre-created calendar if you have created a calendar, you can assign this calendar to the project. So for our construction project of 2-story villa, we can work 7 days. So I select 7-day work week calendar, and it's been selected and assigned. So let's open up our project program. Right click, open project, creating the new project. Now the first thing to do is assigning Wbs. To assign Wbs for creating a project, before you create a project, please have a detailed breakdown of works and the sub works to make yourself thoroughly understand the sequences and structure of the program. Go to project in the menu bar and click Wbs. The Wbs section has been opened, and in the assigning toolbar here, click add. So the first will be the topmost and heading of the Wbs, that is yes, 2-story villa revision 0. Keep on adding the Wbs. Make sure that you know this move up, down, shift left, shift right, in order to sequence the working structure of the program. So the first thing we do before starting a construction project, we go for pre-construction approvals. That is the first Wbs pre-construction approvals. Then second thing, so this part is design and plan preparation. Construction. Now we are done with pre-construction approvals, design and plan preparation, construction approvals. So we could start construction, that is starting a substructure. Substructure meaning the foundation structures and ground level structure. The next aspect is superstructure, that is above ground level works. Superstructure. And the final is architectural and finishing works. So these are the first level WBS breakdown. Now we have to go in for second level, then third level. In superstructure, substructure, subfoundation. Here the next is ground beam and slab. Remember, under substructure, both foundation works and ground beam and slab works are part of the substructure, so it is indented inside the substructure, like it's grouped under the substructure works. So you could notice, you could hide it, you could show all, like, or expand. So collapse the tab to hide the substructure WBS, and open the tab to expand the tab to see the substructure WBS work. So now you're familiar with this aspect, like collapsing, expanding. Similarly, you add the superstructure, the ground floor, ground columns, and roof. Column and roof. You must make sure that you are indenting as per the work structure, so you are not messing up, like collapsing or indenting or denting under some different thing. You have to sequence it in an orderly fashion. So substructure consists of ground column and roof, first floor column and roof, and various other details. Let's add second story. Remember, this is a two-story villa project, so we have just added the first floor column and roof. Then please indent it to the left, then second floor. So we have shown these details under superstructure. These details such as foundation, ground, beam and slab under substructure. Now architectural and finishing works. I'll not take much time in going into all these details. I'll just add two WBS aspects, like external finishing, internal finishing. The first thing is we do internal finishing, then we go for external finishing. Here we are done with adding a WBS structure. Okay, this is also a customizable. You can right click on this column tab, go to here, this bar, right click, go to columns. You can choose dates, when start, when finish. The start date is default, which we had assigned during the creation of the EPS structure. So let's go back to the activities. The reason you are not seeing the WBS which you have created is because, can you guess, there is some problem that we have not fixed it. Yes, you have created a detailed WBS, and when you go to the activities, sorry, my system is hanged a bit. Yeah, when you go to the activities, you are not seeing the WBS which you had created. You must check the layout which you have selected. Firstly, deselect hide if empty, then apply. Or else make sure this is not under different group, like suppose if it is under work productivity and documentation grouping, then you cannot see, and if it is hide if empty, also you cannot see it. So make sure you select WBS and deselect hide if empty, apply, click OK. Again, once again, go to your layout or group and sort by. Sorry, this is a group and sort. Go to click here, group and sort. Select a WBS, deselect ID from empty, apply, click OK. Yes. So the WBS which you have created is visible here in the Gantt chart view. So this is how we create WBS structure for a project. And the next session will be inserting activities, duration, and linking up the activities to a logical conclusion. Thank you. To the created WBS structure, click on the respective WBS. To add activity related to pre-construction approvals, click on this, right click on it, click on the add. The other way is go to the assigning toolbar, click on add. So make sure that if you have any customized activity ID, you could enter here like pre-con. I'm giving a customized activity ID pre-con 0 scroll 001. So I can enter the activity name here, start of the project. Click next. Under the WBS, you can drag left to see more details, drag down to see more details, and click the pre-construction approvals as a respective WBS. Click next. So start of the project for me is not a task dependent. This is a start milestone. We have several types of activity type. One is finish milestone, which all the activities we intend to finish on that date we link to this finish milestone, and this is a start milestone from where we plan to start, from which date we plan to start. This is how. And if it is in WBS summary, we could add WBS summary. Usually task dependent is added for the activities having start and finish date with a reasonable duration or projected duration. So in case of start of the project, I select the start milestone, click next. No, I'll configure relationships at the latest stage, click next. Here it is. So if I choose to add by right clicking on this activity, I'll be getting increased 10 digit increased another activity ID with default activity durations. Firstly, I create the activities, then I'll show you how to link activities. I prefer to delete this activity because this is having different activity ID. So I click on the activity. I could delete this activity. Either way, I can cut this activity. I'm showing cutting editing part and paste in different WBS. So if I don't want to if I want to multiply this activity, I can copy and repaste it in different WBS, whichever WBS you are intend to put it. So if you want to maintain the specific activity information like activity codes, expenses, steps, on all these things, you could select it. You see, this is the renumbering of activity IDs. Incremental value is 10. You can choose to auto numbering like prefix like postpone, design, suffix. What is the incremental value? You can do this. This is activity ID part. Click OK. So I don't need these activities. I just showed this for understanding purpose. So I'll be deleting these two activities. Right click, choose to delete. Yes, I'd like to delete. Now start of the project is cut here, then choose to paste. Okay, we are familiar with this now. Start of the project, plan approvals. This is one activity. So start of the project, plan approvals, design, right click, add. I want to customize this activity ID. Renumber, right click, renumber activity IDs, auto fixation. I fix it as prefix as design, suffix, yeah, 1000, incremental at 10. So design, foundation design activity. Again, you can, if when you click here, automatically this dialog box will pop up. Then superstructure design. Yes, it's in task dependent. Next, then click finish. Now, after design, we'll go for design approvals. Click again, change the activity ID, right click, add authority review on comments. You could see the incremental value is 10. Enter all the activities into respective Wbs structure. Here I have entered all the activities and I've created customized activity ID as discussed. The superstructure works also. I have entered all the respective activities following with the activity IDs, and it's in the respective Wbs. Similarly, if you want to copy one activity which is similar for next Wbs, while you click copy and when you paste it, make sure that if you want to continue the activity ID, use this one. If you want to change the activity ID, change here. If you want to continue the same R key, yeah, code, activity ID code, then incremental value 10, then click OK. So the same thing will be continued in the next succeeding one. I'll just put this as external finishes. So the reason I have taken up the construction project is it's pretty simple for everybody to understand. Suppose if I do any IT sample project, it takes people to get through all the process and understanding, because everybody know about the housing details, like what is there in the ground structure, what is there in the first floor structure. So I've taken a housing project, and these are the, you can adjust it by dragging left, right, and everywhere, the splitter bars. Okay, so now we have done with the inserting activities. Now let's move on to adding durations. So this is very simple. Either you could choose to add durations here, and make sure that in the details, this is the detail, is it should be open when you are entering the duration. Suppose if it is something like this, activity usage spreadsheet or activity usage profile, you may not notice the changes in the duration. So I prefer to keep the activity details. So once you are with the activity details, you can notice the changes in the duration in the status. Like I'll be entering plan approvals. I'll take 30 days duration after start of the project. Then the remaining should also be in 30 days. Like if I enter something 30 days here and it changes to some 20 days or something, you must check these things because you have not started the project yet. So I'll continue to add on durations to all these activities. Simply I can add here also, like for substructure design, I will take 15 days. Click OK. and superstructure design also 15 days. Either you can choose to add here or you can add in the original duration in the status of the details section. Okay, I'll continue to add all the duration respectively. So I have entered all the durations for all the activities. Now it's time to link all these activities in a logical form. So the linking is pretty simple. This project start date is a default start date which we have assigned while creating a project. So I start of the project, from start of the project I'll be linking it to plan approval. So I'll be starting the project on 4th May. To directly link, zoom it, I'll show you. To directly link from this milestone to this activity, you can see the description, finish to start of the project before starting plan approvals. Yes, click on it. So it is linked here. This is one way of doing it. The other way is, go to here, you assign successor. I remove it to show how to assign the successor. Remove it, assign. The window will pop up, assign successor. You drag according to your viewing requirement. So if you are seeing all the details, then choose which activity you would like to assign. From start of the project, in the successor will be pre-con approvals. So click on the pre-con approvals, double click on it, it's assigned. Either you double click on this or you choose to click here, assign. If you assign multiple times, the relationship will change. You have to notice that. So I have assigned one activity, its multiple relationships are noticed here, like start to start, start to finish. Suppose if you are assigning this for predecessor, it might be three different relations, like finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish. So you have to notice that. So you don't need this start to finish relationships, remove it. You don't need the start to start relationships, remove it. So once you're done this assigning, go to schedule, click on the schedule. So it is assigned, you are not saying it. So similarly, after plan approvals, like I submit for plan approvals, then I'll start design of substructure, superstructure design. So as I assign assigned through this way, you can notice the changes here. The relationships are changing multiple times because I have assigned it multiple times. So I remove the unwanted relationship type, linking, then I keep the finish to start, go to schedule, click on it, schedule it, so you can see the flow, linking flow. Similarly, I can assign from backwards. Suppose I want to assign authority submission after substructure design. Then I go to the authority submission. I'll go to click assign here. Again, I need to drag this to my requirement of visibility. Authority submission can be started after substructure design. So I choose it, click on it. I have assigned you. So I schedule it, click on the schedule, click on it. So the process takes around 24 days. So after authority submission, what would be is the authority review one comment. Either I choose in this way or I click on the authority review and comments. I can assign predecessor is authority submission. Select it, click on it. It is assigned. And it is a driving relationship. Driving relationship is the one which drives the logical conclusion path. That is called as a driving relationship, driving thing. So I'll continue to link all this activity, then we discuss about the relationship types. After linking all the activities, I choose to add one final activity, that is project finish. So I have inserted this activity project finish and its default duration is 5 days. So I would like to change this as an finish milestone. So I already discussed how to change an activities milestone activity type while inserting activities. The other way to change activity type is go to the details, select general, go to the activity type, click here. It's a choose your milestone or task dependent. So I'll choose it as a finish milestone. Whenever you choose a finish milestone, the date of finish will go into the finished thing. When you choose a start milestone, it will be in the start. So I'll link the finish milestone project finish after external finish. So I'll assign it, click on it and choose external finish as the predecessor. So here we go. So I have assigned the project finish milestone. So there are constraints. There are different set of constraints. Like if you want to make this assign any constraint to this finish date, go to general, go to status. You can assign a constraint. These are thus few types of constraints, like as late as possible, finish on or after, finish on or before, mandatory finish. Or when you assign a mandatory finish or finish on, so after assigning it, 19th April is a mandatory finish. You are inserting a logical finish date or project closing date. So this is a fixed milestone, so you cannot miss this milestone. If you are missing this milestone, you're delaying a project. So after assigning a constraint, it's a finish on constraint, I'll schedule it. So it's like in the critical path. And you can see this activity which is not having any relationship, logical relationship, is out of critical path. So superstructure is an important aspect, important part. Superstructure design is an important part for superstructure works. So I link this one directly from superstructure design on, then schedule it. So this still remains green. The reason is there is a lot of float here. It is need not to start up to superstructure works. So this is the critical path which you are saying. So I told that I'll be discussing on relationship types, finish to start, start to start. When you see this whole project activities, this is like you are having all the activities as a finish to start. When you like if you assign this activity as a start to start with internal finishes and schedule it, you can see it will start on the same time as of internal finishes. If we assign it as start to finish and the relationship type and schedule it, so after this finishes, this activity will be starting. Similarly, if you assign finish to finish, they both finish at the same time. If you drag this and schedule it, you could see the external finish is also going to finish at same time with internal finishes. It is just in like when you drag the other way of increasing duration is drag left right of the activity will say whether you want to assign any start on or after constraint, or you can increase the duration. So I will not increase any duration, so I'll just keep it. When you this is how the things work. So when the critical path has reduced only because there is still a flexible float of around 1 month time to project finish date. So this is the activity relationship, and this is how we link. So I'll keep 46 days equal. This is how we assign and add activities and link logically, and assign constraint for the milestones, start milestone, finish milestone. So this is more or less you are done with the program activity part. In the next session we will discuss about filter and layout. Welcome to the session of grouping, sorting, filter and layout. Grouping and sorting is an important feature in Primavera P6, and layout is in presentation format. This is also a very critical and important feature in the Primavera P6. The function filter is used to filter out different kind of activities like critical activity, non-critical activity, balance activities to be completed, and 2 week look ahead, 1 month look ahead. So these are all functions we can do in filter and grouping and sorting process. So let's go to the grouping and sorting. Here in this you can see the icon. Click on this icon. This is a group and sort. The window will appear. You can see this is grouped under Wbs. This is a default grouping format, like Wbs level 1, indent all, indent, click indent. When you click indent, this banding will be visible, like it will be applicable. So click indent all. This is the color. You can see the levels of the Wbs. Wbs level 1 is blue color, dark blue. The green is level 2, 3 is yellow color, and the font style and is all the details you could see. In some cases, if there is an empty Wbs, you can hide it by clicking on this option. So if you don't have any empty Wbs, then just so you can select this only to see the summary level. Like if in some projects, like many projects, when we initially plan, we'd like to see the summary, Wbs summary. So in group and sort, if you click show summaries only and click on the apply and OK, you can see only the summary level task information. So this is how grouping and sorting is there, and there are many other functions we'll go to. Like I deselect the show summary only, then apply, so we can see all the detailed activities. You can click. So in group by, in the first thing you can select details which you want to go into the formatting. Like if you want to go for actual start, if you have updated the program, you can select the actual start and baseline, project finish, cost, labor cost, and all. You can group on under all these systematic functions. So duration, finish. I'll show you one important key feature in this grouping. Let's go to the finish. So I can group this at intervals. Like if you're planning some activities for every week, so you want to communicate what are the weekly activities to be carried out. So you can group this under week, then click apply, and click OK. So now you can see clearly that what is the activity in the first week of May, what is the activity in the June that is starting. So it is divided into several weeks, the sequence in a sequence order, so you can communicate across the project stakeholders that see these are the activities we are planned on weekly basis. So it is easy for communicating with the subcontractor. You can say, yeah, you need to come from this week to this week to finish your task. This is how it is beneficial. Apart from finish, you can also analyze and see how to use it for best application. So variances, unit percent complete, all this you can group under all these functions. So let's go back to Wbs. I would like to show one more thing. Like if you have a start, start is okay. Start. What are the activities starting? You can group by month wise. This is a sorting function. You can click either ascending or descending format. You can choose like what are the steps you need to sort it out, and we select the start as default, then click OK, then apply. So this one will show you month wise what are the startup activities, like every month what is the activities going to be started. This you can use it for better applications. If you cost load a program, you can see what is the cost per month wise you're incurring or budgeted cost. So this is the most beneficial function of groupment sorting. So if you select some of this, I would like to show. If you select ID and code, title, ID and code, apply, you can see the IDs and code will be displayed, but we have not assigned any code. So show grand total, apply, you can see the total. If you want to change multiple grouping like WBS, apply WBS and delete this, delete here, pick level 1. So you can sort according this, apply. So you can see that okay, first during May we can pick up, okay, we can see the WS name for every. So similarly you can change into all indent. If you click indent, you need to change it to all, then you can see all the WBS in the month May wise, like what is the June activity, design and plan preparation, construction approval. So I'll remove this, like you can delete it, and you can change this none, go back to default WS, apply, then we are back to normal, the default. You can change or customize this according to your needs and according to your planning and programming, like how you want to communicate with your project stakeholders. Format, go here, save as, you can save this as month wise layout. So you can save this, so the layout is saved. You can open this layout, open, go here, select month wise, apply, open. So you can go to, for default, go to project WBS, apply, then open. So it's the default view has come back to the normal. Similarly in the filter function also, go to the filter, you want to see only the 2 weeks activities, go here, apply. What are the activities for the next upcoming 2 weeks? You can only see this one. You can change the 2 month look ahead, like click on this, modify here. So I have put here 3 months, so I'll go to here, change 2 months. Here where finish is less than or equal to current date plus 2 months. Then click OK, then apply. So you can see the 2 month look ahead program, and you can copy as a layout also. You can save this, copy as a layout. It will be copied here, layout filters. Click OK. To come back to the normal, just go to the filter, click all activities. So everything is back to the normal, like default. Thank you. This ends for a layout, grouping and filter. Hi, we have successfully created a project and inserted activities under respective WBS. Here we have to know that which calendar has been assigned to this project. To check the calendar, you could go onto the table area at the column top, right click, select columns, go to general, choose calendar, insert into the selected options, arrange as per the requirement, on the Gantt on the table area, click apply, click OK. So we are noticing a 7-day calendar has been assigned to this project, which was initially created. So we could change the calendar to our requirement. Suppose if there is a change in the holidays or change in the working durations, we can change the calendar. Now let's learn about inserting a calendar to the project. Go to Enterprise at the menu bar, select Calendars, click on it. So we are seeing the calendar which has been assigned is 7-day work week. Select 7-day work week, click add, select the 7-day work week, select it. So we are copying this calendar options here. You rename it 7-day work week with a public holidays. After creating the calendar, select it, click on the modify here. You can choose the default view of the calendar, like if you want to see the total work hours per day, you can select this one. If you want to see the detailed work hours per day, click on this, and you can select lunch time as a non-working time, and you can insert the how many hours per day working on all time periods. You can see the times hours per day is 8 per week, per month, per year. Click OK. And if you want to select some activities as a non-working, you can do that. Non-work, I'll show you how to do that. I'll be keeping the total works per day as a default for assigning a calendar. Like I want to view only this format. Now I have I have to add some holidays for the calendar. So I choose some days like 1st January is a non-work day. I select this as non-work. You can see the working hours per day has been changed. Then I go to the April. Subsequently, like continuously there are 3 non-working days. You can control click and select these 3 days and select it as a assign it as a non-work day. When you assign this becomes non-working. You can see the exception is in the blue colored box. Yeah, this is how you can assign a calendar, and you can assign the exceptions, holidays, and select the working times, how many work hours. After doing that, and one more thing is the work week. You can change the standard working hours for calendar weekly hours. It's Sunday to Saturday, 7 days, so all 8 hours. You can, if there's a Saturday is a half day, you can choose it for a half day working hour, either 4 hours. So this is how we go into the details of preparing, assigning a calendar or making the calendar for the project. So you continue to assign all yearly calendars for, like for 2020 you assign for all the months. 2021, if the project is prolonged or continuously up to several years, you can keep on adding on the non-working and the exception days. After doing that, select OK, then select the calendar. You can check the used by. No project is being used by this calendar. Then close it. Now to assign the calendar here, you click on this. Like if you want to change a calendar for already assigned project, go to the calendar, double click on it, select it. This has been set as a default. but it has not been assigned here, so select it. So you have assigned for one activity. Click on this activity, keeping the shift button, click here. So you have selected all this, then all these activities has been selected, then right click, select this one, filled on. So all the activity calendars has been filled on. So this is how we can assign calendars. And the other easiest way is close all. Yes, go to the detailed section, go to default, click on it, select the calendar. Now go back to the project. You can see the calendar has been selected as default. We have forgot to change the calendar for some of the activities. Then you can click again here, go to the activities, click on this. So you are done with assigning calendar, changing calendar, and creating a calendar. That's it. Thank you.